Here, right? Okay, welcome to the Saratoga Springs Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, October 30th, 2025. We'll go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Wilden is going to do that for us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and tonight we have Commissioner Karn absent, and so we'll excuse him, and we'll go ahead and open with a public input. Time for public input is limited to no more than 15 minutes total. This time has been set aside for the public to express ideas, concerns, and comments for subject matter not listed as a public hearing on the agenda. So we'll go ahead and open public input. Seeing no other public input, we'll go ahead and close public input. We'll move to public hearing. Item number 1, the Stout Development rezone from residential agricultural RA5 to low-density residential R110, general plan amendment from rural residential to low-density residential and concept plan review, located at 1000 West Fairfield Road, approximately 31 acres. Megan Spencer is applicant, and Senior Austin Roy will be presenting. Sorry, give me 1 second.
Let's see, is this working? Good evening, commissioners. So this item is returning. You'll recall this was on the agenda a couple meetings ago. It's returning. There was an error in the packet of one of the items that was used to notice the item. And so that's been corrected, and it's now been re-noticed with the correct map in there now. So this property is located just north of Pony Express, up there kind of on the hill. And so you can see here, this is the corrected map. They're proposing to go from the RA5 zone to R110 zone, and you can see that there on the map. The discrepancy from last time is that there were 2 lots in the middle that were showing in green, which would be RA5. So on this proposal, of all the land that's owned here, there would be a corner down on the southwest side that would remain RA5. That would be the Sorensen property. It is 5 acres, so they're proposing to keep that part in the 5-acre zoning, but then the rest of it would become R110 zoning. So you can see that's what, on the left is the existing zoning, on the right is the proposed zoning. And then this is the land use. This would also require a change to the general plan. And so you can see here the land use zone likewise is going from rural residential to low-density residential. So you can see that reflected there going from the green to the yellow. This is a concept. They submitted 2 concept plans. And the reason for that is there's a trail connection there's a master plan trail connection to the west that we want to make. And so there's different points where they could connect depending on which concept plan if they were to go with either one of those. We did receive a public comment in the email. Did we want to, yeah. We'll read that into the, I guess I'll conclude that, and then I can read this when we open the public comment portion.
Okay, do we want to invite the developer up and then open public comment?
We can do it that way.
Okay, is the developer here, and do they have anything they'd like to add to the presentation tonight? So we'll go ahead and have you sit there, and if you can state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, my name is Daryl Hodgson on 2100 North. And Ben Duzette with Focus Engineering, 6949 South High Tech Drive in Midvale, Utah.
Okay. And was there anything you wanted to add to the presentation for tonight?
I actually don't think there is. There's nothing new with the development. It's the same thing we've seen. So we're hoping this is more of a technicality than anything, just with the proper noticing. So.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and open for public comment, and we'll start with the public comment that was emailed in, and
Okay.
then we'll go ahead.
I will go ahead and read that. It's from Christy Malone. She did not provide an address, but she says, please forward this for public comment. I am writing in objection to the rezone of the Stout property on Fairfield Road. The rezone is not consistent with the general plan and does not provide any benefit to the city for the additional burden. The schools and traffic in the area are already overburdened. With the recent changes to the right-in, right-out only access on Fairfield, this puts much of the traffic burden on the surrounding neighborhoods. In an area that has already gone to the city with concerns about cut-through traffic, speeding, and sidewalk access, the additional homes would only add to the issues. Christy Malone.
Okay, and we'll go ahead for further public comment. If you can just state your name and address for the record.
Sarah Merrill, 247 North, 1000 West, Saratoga Springs. I, too, am just hoping this is just a technicality since this has already been voted on. Anyway, but it does give me an opportunity to address some misconceptions and concerns that were asked last time. It was questioned why, after working so hard to maintain the RA5, roughly 5 years ago, we have now changed our position as landowners. The truth is, the situation actually began much sooner than that, much further back than that in around 2010, when the annexation of the church property forced these landowners into the city against their will. That was 15 years ago, not 5. And at that time, we requested that the zoning would preserve the same rights that we had under the county. Back then, we were surrounded completely by farmland, but over time, the farms have disappeared through development of roadways. Land to our north has been first changed to R1. We asked for a 1-acre buffer lots along the shared boundary, but we're told fence would adequately address issues related to the cattle pens, such as smells, flies, and noise. Then came Quell Hill, an additional edge over development to the west, again with no feathering, transition lots. Around the same time, Lexington Green was approved to the south. They were supposed to include larger lots facing on Fairfield Road, but that requirement was never fully carried out. Now with Ryder Station as community commercial zoning, 2 LDS chapels, and multi-use development planned along the southern border, our property is now surrounded on 3 sides by residential and commercial uses, and UDOT will be beginning a freeway in the foreseeable future. Farming in this area has become increasingly difficult. With residential and commercial properties on 3 sides and traffic restrictions in place, moving heavy equipment has become nearly impossible. Since we can no longer make left-hand turns on Fairfield Road to 800 West, our only options are to take trackers, swathers, balers, and other large, wide equipment down Pony Express, where our max speed is 21 miles per hour, or navigate north through the narrow roads towards Evans Lane. To those who stated and stand behind the Keep Open Spaces slogan, it's a nice idea, but overlooks a hard truth. Someone has to maintain those open spaces, and I don't see anybody lining up to help. Is it fair to expect us to maintain open land for the enjoyment of others? We often hear neighbors who say how much they enjoy looking over the green fields and hate to see them disappear. But the ground we're discussing isn't lush farmland, it's sagebrush. It's where we keep livestock and equipment. There are luxury homes on the north boundary that sit barely 30 feet from our paddocks. When the city annexed more than 2,000 acres of the LDS Church farmland, it effectively determined the fate of small landowners like us. The time has come to recognize that farming in the center of Saratoga Springs is no longer a viable option. This was never our plan. We built our home here, me and my husband, and intended to live in it forever. But with ongoing medical changes and the changes within the city, it no longer works, and the dream had to shift. With my father's declining health and slipping into the frailty of old age, and in my own family, multiple surgeries, it has made it nearly impossible to continue maintaining the property. And although we have tried to sell, me and my husband, only one person ever walked the property, and that was listed privately and publicly for 2 years. Farmers no longer want to operate in the middle of a town like Saratoga Springs, and regular homeowners cannot afford to buy or sustain it as farmland. The next generation of my siblings who might have taken over and had the physical capability have moved out of state to places where farming is still practical and supported. Meanwhile, the city has allowed rezoning and development on all sides of us. This proposed zone change would simply be consistent and complementary to what now surrounds the property. In addition, the new development will add a couple much-needed roads to help relieve local traffic and improve access, something that will benefit the broader community. Holding us, the last standing local farmers, hostage under the banner of open spaces, those who do not own the land, is not. No one is volunteering to help maintain the property or care for the animals, but people are quick to abandon vehicles, dump trash, and trespass on the land, all three of items which I have found in the past 2 weeks on my property. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Seeing no other further public comment, we'll go ahead and close public comment on this item. Oh. If you could just state your name and address.
Aaron Evans, 437 West Plum Place.
Thank you.
As Sarah noted, with all the encroachment that we've had on the area, trying to move, I'm the one moving the equipment. I've almost been killed multiple times this year trying to get down to the field, trying to get back up to take product back up to where we store it. People don't know that the farm is there anymore. People like to look out their windows and see the open space, but they neglect to see that an 83-year-old man is trying to maintain that ground. It is a burden on him and a burden on the rest of his family to try and maintain that ground so that people can look at the pretty sagebrush. Some of the things that need to be really addressed, I believe, are the fact that we keep longhorns on that ground. And how many kids have I chased off that ground because they want to go pet the pretty new little calves? And they don't take any consideration to the fact that their mamas are there, and all it takes is one person to step through that fence and somebody's going to be injured. We fought for that for a lot of years, to put a buffer up, to maintain what we've had in our generations of families that we've lived here for as long as I can remember. My grandfather was here, my father was here, trying to raise crops, trying to raise animals. It is no longer a sustainable thing to do. So we're looking at trying to get the most cohesive transition of what is there, what we have on the west, what we have on the north, what we have on the south. This plan would just perfectly meld all that together, allowing for better roads, allowing for better sidewalks to be put in at the same time. I understand a lot of people we want open spaces. We want to see the open spaces. Well, a lot of these people are out playing on those open spaces. How many times have we had to take people to court because they crashed their motorcycle on our ground and are trying to sue us for it? How many people try to come up the driveway because it shows as a road, but it's a private drive? That's what the gate's for. It's been a real fight for a number of years. We're tired of fighting. So, that's it.
Thank you. Thank you for that comment. And is there any other public comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll close public comment and open commissioner comment. Do we have any commissioners that would like to make a comment on this item at this time? Commissioner Hill?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for your comments. It adds to our discussion, and as you know, all we're looking at is the administrative piece. The City Council will do the judicial change, but it's good for us to get the information. I do have a number of questions. The first one, Charlie's not here, and he asked a question last time, and that was, in the general plan, when we have a set of zone like the RA5 designated, do we try to replace that RA5 if we take it out of there, or it's just a thought when we were putting the plan together, what we wanted to see and the existing use at that time?
Well, RA5 is 5-acre lots, and the general plan is 1-acre lots. So there is something different on the general plan than the current zoning right now. They are asking for both a general plan amendment and a rezone.
Okay. So that was, I know Charlie had that question last, 2 weeks ago.
But
and
no,
so-
we don't replace it anymore.
We don't replace,
So
okay.
if we rezone agricultural property, we don't replace that. Or if we amend the general plan from rural residential to somewhere else, we don't replace that.
And then the other question I have is in the property that,
Just clarify that too.
go ahead.
So we haven't been doing that, but the council can do that if they'd like. That's a legislative decision.
Okay, it's a legislative decision.
Absolutely. Zoning property, you can even sometimes downzone property as long as you go through the proper noticing.
Okay,
So somebody that has more density could get less density if the city goes through that process. We tend to shy away from that, but you certainly can do that.
Sure.
if you want.
and so it's a,
There's no proposal to do that.
yeah. Okay, thank you. The property north of this that we're looking at is, if you go up 100, I think 1,000 west, it'll take you right up, and I think it's called West Lake or West View Vista or something up there. What is the zoning for those properties up there? It's being built, homes are being built right now, and some have been there for a while. Is that an R1 to 10?
Where is it?
It would be.
Right here?
It would be, so go up from Fairfield, up 1,000 west, and then it goes right into that. So that's north of the property that we're talking about, right, Sarah?
Right, yes.
And so what's the zoning up there? Because there's homes up there. They seem to be bigger lots, but is that R1
It's
to 10?
R110. That developer did choose to do a little bit bigger than
Okay.
10,000.
Okay,
It was their choice to do a little bit bigger.
okay. But it's zone
R110,
R1
yes.
to 10. I think that helps me put in context all the things that are around that. I know that we're looking at, it says 74 single-family homes. And my math would be if we had 2 cars per home, that'd be 150. And let's say minimally, we have 2 trips a day coming and going, that'd be 300 trips minimum using the roads up in that area. Was there a traffic study done? I don't know that it's a large enough area to have a traffic study that was accomplished for the increase in high density there.
I'm not sure where they're at in the review process. If they've gone beyond concept, they've done a traffic study that the engineer who's been reviewing it's not here tonight, but if they're at the concept level, they would not have done their,
Yeah, so not yet. They're at-
Yeah, they're at concept level right now.
They're at the concept
We would
level.
require the preliminary plat.
And so my question would be, the entrance to this, would it be off of Fairfield or would it be off of 1,000 West, or would it be coming in from the north? Could we go to the diagram and see? So it looks like there's some coming off of Fairfield, correct? There's one entrance there?
There's 2 main entrances, one on the south, which would be Fairfield, and then there's one on the west side. I apologize, east side.
On the east side over on 1,000?
1,000, yeah.
Yeah.
And the one on the west side, that's a stub into undeveloped land.
Yeah, because that's not a wide road, but it is.
Yeah.
And that just goes back to the letter that we received that talked about the increased traffic on Fairfield, and we've all heard about, there for a while, it was much faster to go there than Pony Express. I just wanted to get a sense of, if we have a traffic study, that will come at a later date. But I just kind of want to get a sense that we're probably looking at a minimum of 300 trips a day in an area that hasn't had that kind of traffic. I think that's, I'll go back and just share my concern, because I did go and spend some time up on the property. And to the developer, I just reiterate my concern of the water drainage on, primarily I saw it would be on the west side coming down. That's where the steep comes down and where the homes that have daylight basements are susceptible to the water coming down. And I know we've got a lot of shall comply and do not comply at this time, but it's a concept plan. But I reiterate my concern that we need to make sure that we have something that protects the homeowners and the land up in that area from the drainage coming down. I think that's everything that I had. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Miles.
Thank you. I think Commissioner Hill brought up a lot of questions that I have. Just a process question. If this is in the concept plan right now, should that pass the City Council, will this come back again to the Planning Commission when there's more of a concrete
It will.
proposal and plan?
Preliminary plat will come back.
But right now, we're just considering the rezone.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Can we go back to the zoning map? So the piece of property just east of the proposed property that's going to remain in that 5-acre zoning, is there, what's going on with that property?
As far as I know, the city hasn't received any activity on those properties. So for the foreseeable future, it would remain RA5.
And this is just, I guess, since I'm saying it's hearsay, but we approached the owner of that next parcel, the 5.25 acre parcel just across 11,000 West, to purchase their property as well, to include it in this development. And they declined to sell because they intend to develop it themselves. So the one of the children of the owner owns a civil engineering firm and would like to do their own development. So just secondhand, I think you should expect to see that in the near future with the similar development of what we're proposing.
Okay, thank you for that secondhand knowledge.
Statement. The development to the north of us, the Toll Brothers development, is zoned R110, and the majority of those lots are actually pretty close to 10,000 square foot. There are a few that go above that, but in our development as well, we have quite a few lots that are above. 10,000 is the minimum. I think we have a few lots that approach 15,000, 17,000 square feet. So 10,000 is the minimum. We do have a lot of lots that are bigger than that. So there won't be smaller than the lots to the north.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Okay, do we have any other commissioner comment? Okay. Oh, sorry, Commissioner Hill.
It was good to go back over this from the last time because we had a lot of good discussion. And my big concern last time, even though I was in favor, was, changing that general plan. But as I've read into that a little more, and I think Doug gave me some insight that really helped me, and that would be that we'd rather see 3 homes per acre than more density than that. And so that's really helped me in my discussion. And so that's why I went out and spent so much time in the area. And these will be slightly larger lots than that you're seeing down south. So I just wanted to shed that thought. And Doug, thank you. That helped me solidify my thoughts on this.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Hill. Austin, how long is the right turn only on Fairfield Road? We're stuck in that spot for quite some time, right?
The right turn on Fairfield Road, where are we talking about?
That Mountain View.
They're going in and out on Fairfield. Yeah, it's going to stay that way because of the freeway, and then the freeway will get larger as well over time.
So this development will only, are they stuck in a right turn only spot in this development, or will they be able to make left turns onto major roads to get out of the neighborhood?
To get out of the neighborhood?
If they're using Fairfield, they would have the same situation. So if they want to go left, they would have to go over to Evans Lane.
We do have active applications for the property to the south of this, which is called Ryder Station, and that would have a connection to Pony Express through that property.
Through a light?
With a light, yeah.
Is it the light that's at Silver Lake going down that? Will that go through?
Eventually, it will.
Eventually.
You have that on the master plan.
Yeah, I saw that today. I was like going down, I says, just a little jog there and you'd be right where that light is and you Pony Express.
I've got engineering would like to,
Yeah, I was just going to reiterate the right in, right out Fairfield Lane, that's onto Mountain View, that's permanent until the expansion. And I want to say that turns into a frontage road, but I'm not sure if Fairfield accesses frontage road at that point. There is a collector road planned for the east side of the development that they're showing as part of the project. Their project won't extend it all the way to Pony Express, but the church has bought that property south of theirs, and that project intends to extend that collector road. So that collector road will run from Pony Express up to Evans, and that's future roadways in the traffic management plan, but they'll have full movement from Evans Lane. Ryder Station is actively trying to develop. They will bring in a roadway to Woodhaven Boulevard, Pony Express intersection, which is signalized in 3 directions currently. The Ryder Station project would improve the signals so that all lanes have signalization. That's the current information that I have on the roadways in that area.
okay. This is a hard one. Thank you for that. I'll say I really do appreciate having the owners here tonight and that perspective of what they're dealing with and some of that reasoning. It does provide a lot of direction for me on this decision process. Commissioner Miles.
Yeah, just to add to that, I've experienced that personally. We have had a family farm in Idaho and had gone through similar situations. And to your point, Chair, it does help give a lot more context to the situation that we're in. So thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Mangum.
Thank you so much. I also appreciate the comments, and my thought is, with what we've heard, is there any proposition for a solution that would not step on the rights of other people? I guess that's my question, is what is the solution that is proposed that is that would allow the others to continue with their rights in developing the property? Now, that's the question in my mind, and I don't know the answer. That's all.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right, we'll go ahead and open for a vote. I will, did you have a comment or, okay. All right, we'll go ahead and open for a vote. I will entertain a motion for a vote at this time.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I move that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation for approval of the requested rezone and general plan amendment located at approximately 191 North, 1000 West with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Mann. Do we have a second on that motion?
I'll
Sorry.
second that.
Do we have any questions on the motion? Okay, and we have a second from Commissioner Wilden. We'll go ahead and now vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. And my nay vote is mostly because I believe that this project does need to go forward, but we do need to note that there are a lot of issues going on with the roads in this section, in this development, which the city has known for a long time. But we do need to note that and make that a situation that we're taking a little bit more seriously and looking at what are some better long-term plans for this so that we're not coming into these kinds of situations with no good options. This is part of this long-term plan and the city's general plan. We should be having some better options for how to address these types of situations. With that said, I do hope this development does go forward. I do think this is a good option. And I do think that this is probably the best option for this particular spot. But we do need to continue to take some closer looks at what's going on, how we got here, and how we can make sure that we're not in this type of a situation going forward. All right, with that said, let me do this. All right. And we'll move on to item number 2, the Harbor Springs rezone from agricultural to mixed zone waterfront located at 1331 East Pony Express Parkway, approximately 23.36 acres. Jen Hall is applicant, senior planner Austin Roy.
Let's see if this, okay.
Sorry, you're good now.
Okay, yeah, the microphone just keeps turning off. Okay, so yes, this is Harbor Springs. It's 23 acres located on just off of Pony Express Parkway. You can see it there with the star on the map. This is just north of our future North Marina that's currently under construction and close to the new City Hall. This is a rezoning request, so they're proposing to go from agricultural to mixed waterfront zone. They are not proposing a general plan amendment. So this is already shown as mixed waterfront on the general plan. So that is not, being proposed tonight. So by rezoning this, they would be bringing it into the zone that we foresee it on the general plan. The applicant has submitted a concept plan for this. The concept plan shows 188 units here. It's mixed use, so there are commercial as well as residential units here. They're seeking 10 units per acre on the residential portion, which is allowable in the mixed waterfront if they provide some additional amenities, which they are proposing to do with this development. The overall density for the entire project would be 8 units per acre. So 10 units on the residential portion, but because it's both commercial and residential, the entire thing is 8 units per acre. We do have the developer here tonight, so if you'd like to invite them to come forward, they can probably help answer questions as well.
Sorry, before we get to that point, in the packet we received, I don't think that we received that. We received some different information about the units per acre.
Okay. Yeah, what did you get in your packet?
Let me.
I have the packet here before me. Yeah, so let me explain that. So they submitted a concept plan here. They had some errors in their table on the concept plan that they submitted. So the table showed 11 units per acre and 8.2, but they believe those are just they're not proposing that. So that was an error in their table, and so what is actually being proposed is the 10 units per acre. And even if they were proposing 11, it's not allowed in the mixed waterfront zone. So our code simply doesn't allow it. And that was, in your packet, you would have seen these plans have red lines on them, and we did red line that and note that that's not acceptable in the mixed waterfront zone.
And then, Austin, can I ask a question? It looks to me that 188 residential units and 122 townhouses, is that correct?
That is correct.
And so the townhouses are in the brown shade? And no, wait, I'm sorry. So the brown is actually mixed use, and then the yellowish that you're seeing here on the screen, those are just residential units. Okay. And some of the townhouses will be on top of the commercial, retail and commercial, correct?
That is correct, yeah. So the brownish ones do have residential on top, commercial bottom.
Okay, that's what, thank you.
Except for, well, let me clarify, the bottom of the screen, because
Those are
those
gonna
are
be
also
part-
brown, but those are just commercial buildings on the
More
bottom-
anchor-
on the
more anchor
south part
location.
of the map there, yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and invite the developer to join us if they'd like to, and add anything to the presentation if they have some at this time.
Hello, my name's Jen Hall. I don't have a lot to add to it. We are excited about this development. We are also the ones doing the North Cove development. So this is a very similar project to that, and understanding your desire for wanting, the beautification of the waterfront and the walkways and things like that. So we really are trying to bring that for you guys, as well as we are aware of the mistake in the table. That was an engineering error, and it has since been corrected. I was hoping the engineer was going to have that to me tonight, but unfortunately I did not see it in my email before tonight. So we are just only asking for what's allowed in the code.
Okay, and if you could also just state an address for the record, please.
Yep, 9921 North Oker View Drive in Eagle Mountain.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and open for public comment. Seeing none, we'll close public comment, and we'll open for commissioner comment. Commissioner Mangum.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate this application. It looks great. The plan is awesome. That whole area really stinks for traffic. We all know that, but what do you do? And I don't think it's an issue personally with the air or the unit count. We're not voting on that. We're just voting on the zone. And since that fits with our plan, I think it's a great application. So thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hill.
Thank you. It's good to see you again. It was, about a year ago?
Yeah, we've been working on these two plans for a little over 3 years now, so.
So how's the first plan coming along?
Good, we're done. We're just essentially finishing up the last couple of things, dealing with the right-of-way essentially, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be nice too, as the road gets widened down there.
So nice.
It's going to give it a lot more thoroughfare. The only comments I had, I know it's a concept plan, and there are a lot of findings that need to be addressed, but I'm sure you're aware of that. The only other comment I say is I think this is a benefit to the city in that we're bringing services down in that area. It's landlocked, and you've got to go down to Redwood, you got to go up to get any services, and I know it's too early for you to know who might be coming in, but if we can bring services to that area that helps the residents not have to go out on Redwood and get really involved in the traffic, if everyday items could be a part of that, I just see that as a real win-win for the city, for you as a developer, and those that are going to be living there. A beautiful spot. It's going to be restful. It's going to be kind of tucked away and just be able to utilize the views. So thank you.
Yeah, it will be beautiful, and we are excited. We have some really cool things that are coming. One that I will just note, and do not hold me to this, but the very bottom, the building that's on the southwest corner there, we're hoping that's going to be a really neat restaurant with a patio and a bar and things like that. So it'll kind of bring a really cool vibe to the area, as well as shopping and other amenities that are very much needed in the area too.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Miles?
Yeah, I'm just wondering from the city staff what our timeline is to expand that road. I'm sure many of you, as noted, travel that right now. It's rough. I think I spent at least half an hour going half a mile today.
Yeah.
That spot. So that was my initial just question of when we have plans to expand that road.
Engineering would like to address that.
Yeah. So we have MAG funding for design right now of Saratoga Road from Pioneer Crossing south to this intersection, Pony, and going east from there down to Loch Lomond. So that is expanding it to 3 lanes instead of the 2 along Pony in that area.
Yeah, it's 5.
Yeah.
We just found out too.
Okay. So the MAG funding that I was talking expanded to 3, and then we're just, instead of doing a 3-lane road and then a 5-lane road, we're just gonna put the arterial in. So I mean, it's in design. It's usually a year or 2 out from there, yeah, it's coming along. And that intersection that we all know, that tight 4-way intersection, because we have constant traffic flows from 3 of the 4 legs in there, it's a 4-way stop, because that's what works best right now. But that will be, with these projects, that's a signalized intersection. So, and it'll be really big. So that's the plan.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, engineering.
Just wanted to make sure everyone understands, though, we are running into some problems on the south side of Pony Express with wetlands issues, and that will probably slow down the process quite a bit. We have a lot of the funding, but it's very hard to get permits from the Army Corps of Engineers when we're dealing with wetlands. So hopefully we can get it done sooner and we'll get the permits from the Army Corps, but that could really delay things quite a bit. And on Saratoga Road, there's a property owner who's not being cooperative that we're going to have to probably go through some sort of condemnation proceeding on. So we'll try as best we can. We're working on it every day.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Commissioner Miles?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comment. And I've got a couple questions. First, y'all are doing the rooftop, right? Okay,
Yes.
that's what that project is. Okay, so in the packet that I'm looking at, there's some amenities. There's a pickleball court and a pool, and it looks like you've got quite a few amenity points going in, but along that trail, we're leaving that as, I forget the words we use, the sagebrush, the fancy word for sagebrush.
Native
Open space.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, the big vast part of that green that you see on the right-hand side there, that's actually the Dry Creek, river, or whatever water channel that comes down from the mountains. So there is a certain period of the year where it does have water in it. I mean, it is called the Dry Creek for a reason, because, most of the year it is dry, but there is a time in the year when water does flow through there.
So is all of the green area then going to be native land?
On that east portion, I don't know. I'll let the developer comment on that. There's a portion is on the east bank of the river. Are you going to develop that, or is that?
Yeah, I am not 100% sure at this point. It's already really green and there's a lot of trees, so we would just look at a way of kind of incorporating that in so it is usable space for the residents. And potentially also public. We're still kind of going back and forth on where we need to be with our points and open space and things like that. So I think we want to make it beautiful. So it's just, right now it's not really sagebrush. There's more trees there because it kind of lines that whole riverbank. So it just depends, I guess. I don't have a for sure answer I could give you on that tonight. There will be a trail, though, that people can walk that whole length of that dry creek and then connect down to the Saratoga Trail that's down on the south end.
It is heavily vegetated, so there's a lot of trees.
A lot of trees, yeah.
I don't know how many of them are like Russian olive and, invasive species, but there's a lot of trees there. So, we did get, when someone first heard about this project, one of the residents called in and they were concerned that they were going to chop down all the trees. And I think there's even some bald eagles that nest in some of these trees. So there were some concerns about that as well. But the trees are in that water channel and they're proposing to keep it as open space. So,
yeah.
Okay. So if we're leaving it as native, and then the city would be taking over this, or the developer would hold on to maintaining the trail?
The trail, it would be, I believe, so we do have a development agreement also being drafted right now, and I'm trying to remember the details of that. I think a lot of these trails would be maintained by the developer, though. There is a trail to the south that's currently owned by the county. And so that's also proposed to be part of this development. It's basically in between the marina and this property. It's a county trail. One of the proposals as part of this project is that they would develop that portion of the trail. So they would have to get permissions from the county to do that, but they're going to they would landscape the area on the north side of that trail. And then there will be kind of a space there for events and things with bench seating so that it kind of activates the trail in that area.
Just one thing to clarify about our code too. Yeah, I'm not sure where you're getting or where you're getting at with the question about native landscaping. It's not like a developer can come in and there's a bunch of invasive weeds and thistle and cheatgrass or whatever. They can't leave that. They have to restore it to what is actually native. So it's not like there's a free pass and they can just leave it with a bunch of weeds and garbage and stuff like that. It has to actually be improved to a standard where it restores it to native landscaping.
What about Russian olives?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if our code addresses that per se. I think that engineers could probably weigh on that, but that's not a native tree.
The engineers are making looks like they are not weighing in on that one.
I'm not aware of Russian olives, but I will say there is a wetland study. I haven't looked at it recently, but there may be, some of this might still be within the wetlands, so that might affect, the Dry Creek likely has some wetlands along with it, so that might impact some of the landscaping.
And this property's in the 100-year floodplain, right?
Mm-hmm.
It has to be raised out through the FEMA Clomar process in order for them to start development.
Okay. So I will just state on the amenities and the points on this that it doesn't, well, I had formulated some thoughts before I knew that the density was different, so I'll hold that back. We'll go ahead. Commissioner Mann's got some comments.
Yes, thank you so much for your presentation. I am just ecstatic and so excited to see development. I think that it's just going to be extremely desirable for new homeowners. The location just couldn't be better. It's going to be more of a resort feel, which I think that we all move here for. We love that resort town living. I'm wondering on, it says for the 2 extra units per acre, the applicant is proposing to provide additional amenities. Are those the amenities that we're seeing on our concept plan, the pool and the pickleball?
It's not all of the amenities, no, this is just a concept plan. So once we get to that point in the neighborhood development, as we move this forward, we'll have a full list of what all those amenities are and be able to present it better at that time.
Okay, wonderful.
Sorry, can I just clarify? You said for the extra 2 units per acre, but that isn't relevant, right?
Well,
They can ask, so this zone, the base density is 8 units per acre. If they do extra amenities, they can qualify for 10 units per acre, so an additional 2 units per acre based on doing an increase of 25% amenities. So those details aren't included in the concept plan, but they would like to pursue the 10 units per acre.
yeah.
Okay, so they are pursuing 10 units per acre.
Yes.
They are going to pursue 10 units per acre. And and just also to clarify, our code has basically 3 options. So they can choose from 3 different options how to try and get those 2 additional units per acre. And this is just one of those 3 options. So they've decided to go with the extra amenities as their way of trying to achieve the 2 units per acre.
Just one more question and a question for city staff. Is the intent to have one builder build all of these homes, or will it be more like a wander situation where several builders in the same development?
Our hope is that it's one builder. So, but until we get to that point, I can't guarantee that for sure. But as developers, we hope we're just working with one specific builder.
Wonderful. I would just like to comment just from my expertise that I hope that you will choose a very quality, reputable home builder, because I would love to see these homes be standing the test of time and being an ongoing value for the homeowners who purchase them.
I couldn't agree more.
And for city staff, I'm just curious. I see that the interior side setbacks go from 12 feet, I'm assuming that's for R1 through 10, down to, for the mixed waterfront, to 5 feet.
Right.
What is the reason, because it's mixed waterfront, why that's a pretty small setback?
Right. There, in our lots in our zones that have multifamily, we also allow patio homes as well. And a lot of those are more like common space, shared space, rather than, and then the 5 on each side equals 10. So if it's a lot, but there is also a minimum building separation of 10 feet as well.
Oh, there is.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, that answers all my questions. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Miles.
Thank you. I just had one additional, on the map that you showed with the 3D rendering, with the trail that comes from North Shore community, you'd mentioned that may be changed or developed where it connects into, I think it goes into American Fork, doesn't it? Eventually.
Eventually it will. So this, there is an existing trail on the north side of the lake that would run in between this property and the city marina. And then their concept plan has buildings along that, and then a seating area with some benches along that trail.
So that'll be kind of rerouted in a different...
No, it would stay here.
Stay.
It would stay here.
Okay.
Yes.
That was my main concern. It's
it
such a
doesn't
unique...
change the alignment.
Okay,
And
it's
there
such
are
a unique
plans-
spot.
Right
so-
now it ends at 500 West in Lehigh, the park that's there, but there are plans for that to be continued.
Oh, good. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Miles and Commissioner Mann, for your comments. With this type of development, with the commercial on the bottom and that residential on top, we don't have this already in Saratoga Springs, but what do we know about what kinds of issues other cities have had with this type of layout and plan?
We do track those things. We have that, generally we understand. So it hasn't been done here in Saratoga. We don't have any of this scale. So in other cities, they've done, main floor retail with 3 or 4 stories above. This would be main floor retail on a portion of it with 1 story above, or, 1 unit above, not multiple units above. They'll be the first ones doing it in Saratoga. We are getting more proposals for it coming our way. So even though they're the first, we're getting other requests that are coming.
And Sarah, isn't it true that the master plan for the downtown area is going to show quite a bit of that residential above retail?
That's in the goals, so we hope to see that in the downtown.
Yeah.
Okay, seeing no other comments, we'll go ahead and open for a motion.
Also move. I move that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation for approval of the requested Hidden Landing Phase 2 rezone and general plan amendment located at South.
Oh, excuse
This
me.
is
This
at
one,
Harbor
this one's not
Springs.
Hidden Landing. You'll want to go up one. This one is number 2, Harbor Springs.
If someone has it, they can go ahead and take my place.
So we'll go ahead and,
Have H's.
We got too many rezones on the agenda tonight.
I'll move that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation for approval of the requested rezone for Harbor Springs development located at 1331 East Pony Express Parkway with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
okay, thank you, Commissioner Mann, for that motion. Do we have any questions on the motion?
I'll second it.
And we've got a second from Commissioner Hill. We'll go ahead and vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, that passes unanimously, and we will move to public hearing item number 3, Hidden Landing Phase 2 rezone from rural residential to low-density residential and general plan amendment from rural residential to low-density residential located approximately at Sage Hill Drive and Summit View Drive, approximately 28.6 acres. Julia Smith is applicant and senior planner Gina Grand Prix.
Okay,
Austin's-
Gina couldn't make it tonight. She's unable to make it, so I'm going to cover for her tonight. So 3rd time's a charm on rezones. This is Hidden Landing, 28 acres, going from rural residential to single family, and general plan from rural residential to low-density residential. You can see that here. So this is on a bit further north of the other RA5 zone that we just looked at, the Stout development at the meeting. So this is up further north, kind of by the North Fire Station. And so would be phase 2, if I understand correctly, of the Hidden Landing. So phase 1 has already been processed, and so this would be the second phase. And you can see it's 2 pieces. They're kind of separated, but the 2 stars there indicate the 2 parts of the development. They've provided a concept plan and layout here that you can see, and it's showing 66 lots on the 28 acres. And it would, it does, what they're showing here does meet the R110 standards for lot sizes. And I think let me see if there's anything else. That's about all I have on that. And I apologize, I'm I'm covering for Gina, so I don't know all the ins and outs on this one, but.
Okay, we'll go ahead and invite the developer to join us and add anything. Please state your name and address for the record.
Boulevard, Orem, Utah. I'm the applicant.
Larry Myler, 10771 South Rippling Bay, South Jordan. Developer.
All right, did you have anything you wanted to add to the presentation tonight?
A little bit more background on that. I appreciate you stepping in for Gina. We've worked with Gina on this project and engineering probably for about 3 years now. We got the original phase 1 approved, and we're moving forward with that at this time. The delay has been we need to pipe the Jacob Welby Canal, and we only have a short window that we can do that. So we're hoping to get that in this winter. And that also provides a sewer for the project. So that's been our delay. We are now asking for the Phase 2 part. We have four properties in there. The furthest west one that you labeled 1170, and then we have the ground in the middle that's owned by Mr. Burton, and he is here tonight. And then Larry, Mr. Mylar, owns the one that has 1100 West, and then one in blue is Mr. Bernardi, and he is also here tonight. In this plan, we will be vacating that blue cul-de-sac and putting in new roads. We will be rebuilding the Sage Hill Drive that goes from 1200 North and loops around. That road will be rebuilt with utilities. This was originally a really old subdivision, Sage Hill, in the county, and had got annexed in. We believe that the R10 fits with the zoning all the way around it. And we're excited to present this to you.
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and open for public comment. Yeah.
Well, how are you guys tonight?
We're good, thank you.
I'm Mr. Burton, James Burton. My address is 11943 West Sage Hill Drive. I bought that 5-acre lot before the city annexed me in. So I feel like I'm trapped in the middle, but I see there's a need for a master plan there. I've got horses, heavy equipment, trucks, kind of a lot of slope on the ground there. But in 5 years, I can see where I might not want horses, trucks, heavy equipment there. So I'm kind of torn up here. I want the master plan to go through, and which he needs his zoning to change to get that master plan through. But I kind of just want to be left alone right now for a few more years. And then, well, everybody dies and their kids sell their property. So it'd be nice if my kids could sell my property if something happened to me, or if 5 years now when I retire, I can sell it, I can go somewhere else. So I want to be left alone. I want to stay with my horses for now, but I want him to be able to function. Just make me part of the master plan. Just leave me alone for a few more years. Thank you.
Thank you.
If I can make a comment, you can see the heavy green fencing on each side of Mr. Burton's property. That is a requirement, and we will be installing that fencing, protecting his animals and his property.
Can we just, Austin, can you clarify on the map that's on the screen what we're talking about here?
Yeah, so on the bottom right, that there's a text box, that far right text box, that is his property. So it's 5 acres there. And then those green lines on the top and the bottom of that rectangle, that's the fence that they're talking about.
Offer a little more color on that. So that you see that dotted line, that road that goes through Mr. Burton's property. That's a road that we would propose to put in to run utilities across his property. So when he is ready to, I'm going to say retire, not die, Jim. Let's have you retire and move on to something fun. But we want to make sure and have some stubs there for lots if he ever changes the zone and wants to be a part of the master plan. So we've kind of built him into the plan for his future when the time is right for him.
Okay, do we have any other public comment?
Hi, I'm Jim Bernardi. I own the lot that's, well, my wife and I own the lot that's where the cul-de-sac is and goes, in this drawing, it's to the right there. We bought about the same time Jim Burton did, with hope and vision of retiring out there and living in a nice, quiet, rural area. Over the years, there's been some challenges to kind of get utilities out there has really been a challenge. One time that has been a number of years ago, was presented to us that it'd take about $7 million to bring all the utilities, and I don't know if that was actually true or not, but that kind of discouraged us, and we have to go through maybe the well route, so we're getting to the point where we're ready to retire, pretty close to retirement, and so Larry came along and says, hey, I can bring these utilities to you, and but we're going to have to change, of course, the zoning. Right now it's, I think, 1 acre. I don't know the terms, I get them mixed up, but we've always thought that 1 acre lots would be great out there, but we can see the need, I guess, for the utilization and efficiency of development. You'd have to change that to have smaller lots to bring that utility out to make the efficiency of I guess, the cost effectiveness for that. So my wife and I are excited to move out there, and we've kind of, where that cul-de-sac is, if you understand the topography of this place, or this area, it's kind of sloped down like this. And so we want to put, our place right there on that, we call it the peninsula, overlooking the valley. And that's why you see that kind of that larger chunk there, but doesn't have lot designations right there below the existing cul-de-sac. That's where we would like to build, and then of course let Larry, provide those other lots down there, bringing utilities all around and beautifying the area. Again, we wanted to do 1 acres, but that really isn't practical for the area. So I guess my input is I'd like to see this go through so we can get those improvements in and beautify the area. So.
Okay, thank you for that comment. Any other public comment at this time?
Shauna Burton, so I'm Jim's wife, so our property's right between everything.
If you can just state that address.
Yes, 11943 West Sage Hill Drive.
Thank you.
I'm also torn on this. We moved out here, bought property 30 years ago. For the horses, for the rural, you understand that everything's going to move. It's going to come. Growth is going to happen. We've watched multiple homes coming in around us just in the last 2 to 3 years. The Mount Saratoga big subdivision that just went in, we were on a dead end. We had a closed off road. It was for people to come up. They still walk and jog and do things up around there because we still have enough open space that it was safe for people to do that. Once they came in and opened for the Mount Saratoga above us, the traffic is ridiculous. And there's kids, they're speeding, there's little kids on their bikes, and we've had to call the police multiple times. That a child's gonna get hurt. It's gonna be devastating. So I think the roads need, the infrastructure needs to be put in place to accommodate for these type of growths before there are children killed. There are, and I'm not stressing, we've called multiple, they probably have our phone numbers on the 911 call when we have to call and report that it's just getting too dangerous. We have a single lane road. People think it's 2 lane, but it's not. It's very small. So to incorporate this type of thing and bring even more growth right now at this time, I don't think is a good option. I think the infrastructure needs to be put in first. Safety measures need to be taken before more building, before there's multiple, and it's going to come. We're going to be pushed out. We're there anyway. And they did offer to put a vinyl fence. Vinyl fence is not going to stand up with horses. It's not, we're kind of in an area where kids love horses. They love animals. They come down. They get in our fields. They go in with the horses. We've had to post no trespassing to keep kids safe, to keep people safe. We've had parents ride, with their bikes down our property to get to the animals. A vinyl fence isn't going to stand up to horses. It's not, and I know it's coming, But I just think we need to take a step back. We need to look at the whole city. We need to look at the infrastructure and the multiple buildings that is going around where there's very little open space left. And it's sad, but it is growth. It happens. But I'm scared somebody's going to get hurt in that area, period, let alone having additional homes right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment at this time? We'll go ahead and close public comment and open commissioner comment. Commissioner Hill.
Thank you, Chair. Just a couple of questions. Again, 66 single-family residents up here. I remember when you came, it was a couple of years ago, because I remember, you know, the less dense is really tough terrain, isn't it? Beautiful sites, but hard to build on. And I remember we talked about that over on the east side and the west side is where you could do some developing. And so it's good to see you coming back and following up from that perspective. The one question that I have is, you know, you are to the east of Mount Saratoga that has a lot of trails up top, and that will remain that way. Are there going to be trails or incorporated in your development? I mean, you've got two small places compared to the large in the middle that is going to be very hard to develop. So could you address maybe the trails or the ability for the neighborhood up there to have some place to go?
Yeah, so we're connecting into the bike park. What is the name of that park? That's just east of us? Whatever that park is, it's a regional bike park. Just
Right.
Yeah, so we're connecting into that.
The Sunrise Bike Park.
Yes,
yeah.
sir. So we're connecting into that, and then it's continuing south down into the subdivision to the south of us.
Okay.
And then we'll also have going over to, on the west side of us, that's a power corridor, and we'll be connecting into that also.
Okay. Good. Again, I just think you're in an area where there's residential, you've got views, it's going to be beautiful. And I've had an opportunity to go out a couple of times to look at that before, and just today I went out, and so I can just see how this is all going to come together. So that's all the questions I had, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Mangum.
Thank you so much, Mr. Myler. It's nice to see you. I appreciate you bringing this application. As I listen to the Burton family, I think to myself, what is the solution? And I was trying to listen, and what I heard is that there's going to be a fence, and then also they are asking for better infrastructure. Are they basically saying that they want Sage Hill Drive developed bigger and faster? Is that the request?
Can I answer that question?
Yeah, basically, I hear, I think that's what I heard, a bigger fence and more infrastructure. Is that what you're asking for? Is that the solution, that it's fair to both parties? Because
Well, I don't think it's fair to Larry to have to do it. I think it's something that the city should have
Yeah.
had the other developer do before they used it as their second entrance.
Good point.
But right now, there's no center line. The weeds on the side of the road haven't been mowed all year long, so they're overgrowing the road. Traffic in the morning before the sun is up, 50, 60 miles an hour down that road. And at the end of the road, there's a sharp left turn and a downhill drop right there, where I'd almost bet you lunch this winter somebody's going off that edge, where the old equestrian center used to be.
Yeah, sorry, can we have you come to the mic for those statements? I apologize, I should have
Yeah, thank you.
did that first.
Start over. So I don't think it's Larry's responsibility to do it. I think it's something that got missed on the project that's to the west of where Larry wants to build. They opened that road that was a closed cul-de-sac road. They opened it out to Highway 73, so they had a second exit out of the subdivision to the west of us. But now, it's been missed. Nobody's maintaining it. We get very poor snow removal in the wintertime, just kind of off in the corner of the world. But in the morning before the sun comes up, there's 300-400 cars coming down that road, 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. And at the end of that road, there's a real sharp left turn and a very steep hill there. And I'll bet money this winter somebody goes off that edge. But the weeds haven't been mowed. They're encroaching over the road by 2 to 3 feet in spots. And it needs some attention. I don't know whose dime it needs to be on, but I think that's what she's after, is somebody needs to fix that road up a little bit.
It's good to hear a proposed solution that sounds fair, so I appreciate your input. Thank you. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Mangum. Is that road up to standard?
So talking Sage Hill Drive coming down from High Pass Drive. So you're right, like it did get connected with Mount Saratoga. A lot of that is due to the connection standards the city has. We want connectivity. The road itself is in, Sage Hill Drive is in poor shape. If I remember right, the last time I drove that, our Public Works Department has put up 15-mile-an-hour speed limit on that coming into that. It's hard, though. You can't control how people drive. You know, we all wish we could. But for our Public Works Department, there's signing and 15-mile-an-hour speed limits, and I think there's some Chevron signs around that turn, and that's what they've done. When the development occurs, it brings that infrastructure. The road will meet standards. That's a county road, so it was a county road, and now it's, let's see, just click on it. Yes, owned by the city. So
I think what you're getting at is why did the development not to the west not improve that road? Is that the question you're asking?
Well, no, I was asking, is that road up to our city standard for just road size and width and all of that? And I mean, when I look at the Google photo of it, it doesn't look like it.
It's not. It will be brought up to city standards when this project comes in. It was built per county standards back in the day when it was originally developed. The reason the development to the west didn't improve is because they didn't need it for their access. They were just connecting the road for connectivity. We have a standard in our code that says developments have to be connected together, and that's the only reason that was connected. And of course, it created some problems because it added all this extra traffic to the road, and we're realizing that it has caused further deterioration of the road. As far as the weeds are concerned that were brought up, that is the property owner's responsibility. We have a code that says you have to mow weeds down to 6 inches in height, and that's something that we could definitely have code enforcement go out and look at. If it's obstructing the road and it's growing over 2-3 feet, that's something that code enforcement should get out and issue some notices on.
Okay.
But I think we can have code enforcement reports, I think, to Sarah, correct, Sarah? So I think Sarah could reach out to our code enforcement officer and have them look at that.
Could I mention one thing about this road and the safety? I think what Jim and Shauna are saying is true. I've noticed coming from the west development eastward and then making that left turn, it's a sharp turn, and there is quite a drop off if someone misses it. I don't know what we would be required to do as we come in with this project and improve the road, certainly raise it to city standards, but could we also look at some type of fence or reflectors or something that would be some kind of a barrier there?
Yeah, we've been looking at kind of the traffic and safety part of the project. So, curves need to meet city standards. We'd need to look at that with your traffic study too, that would be coming. Have that traffic engineer address that as one of the mitigation items.
Commissioner Mangum.
Thank you so much. Two quick follow-ups. So the development and improvement of Sage Hills Road, is that being required as part of the development?
Yeah,
by the
Sage
city?
Hill Road needs to be brought up to standards. If we do this project, it would be our responsibility. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, is this being put upon you to improve as part of this project?
It is, but after tonight, I think I need to go and talk to Edge Homes about chipping in because they're putting more traffic on that road than we will with the new homes. So that's
Best of luck there.
Yeah.
And then the second question, I hear that there's a fence that's going to be put in on Mr. Burton's property. And I think I read that it was like a 6-foot fence. Is it a sufficient fence in your opinion?
Vinyl fence isn't, no. I thought he said masonry fence or something.
Can we have you come to the podium for your?
I'm sorry, I keep calling. I apologize. I apologize.
That's all right, I know better, I should have came up. Before we go too far, I want to rebut what Kevin said here. I was told by the city public works guy that property between the road and my property, I was not to touch it. That was city property. 5 years ago, we had this battle. The neighbor was out stealing the road base off the shoulder of the road to do his driveway with it. Okay, what was the next question?
The fence.
I don't think
fence.
the vinyl fence is good enough for the horses. And we have a lot of really strong wind there. The vinyl fence hasn't done very well in most of the neighbors' yards it's put it in.
But wouldn't you already have a fence for the horses as is?
I've got like a pipe, no climb fence, most of it. Some of it just has the pipe with a field fence on it. So it's pretty easy to climb or get through.
But I guess what I'm saying is the fence they're putting in wouldn't replace the fence for the horses to stop them from getting in and out. I'm trying to ask with the purpose of the fence and the benefit of the fence.
Like a double fence there, you mean?
Is that what it is, a double fence? Or is this fence replacing your existing fence?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. To be determined.
I thought it was, we talked about it, I thought it was a masonry, but I guess that didn't make it.
To be determined.
I'm sure you guys can work it out. You seem like awesome people.
So I do just want to make sure that we note for the record that the developer and the adjacent property owner are stating that the agreement is a masonry fence that is, and is there a height on that, a 6-foot masonry fence?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I just want to let you think, man, I'm not in a rush tonight for some reason, for the first time in my life. Commissioner Mann.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your presentation. I noticed that there are quite a few do not complies referring to the shortage of open space in phase 2. I see 2 different proposals. I'm not sure if that's the right word for it. One of them would be a request to use the credit from phase 1, additional open space, towards phase 2. And there's also mention of payment in lieu of open space if it's qualifying. So is that like, if the council does not go ahead with the credit from phase 1, then they can do the payment in lieu? Okay. All right. I would personally be against the credit from phase 1, just because the language is very specific in the code. You know, this is to ensure a livable community in no case shall the percentage of total open space acreage be provided in the following types of developments be less than the listed percentage. You know, the lines are drawn very clearly and for a specific intent and purpose. When Phase 1 was developed, it wasn't planned that that added percentage would be credited towards Phase 2. I think that there's a reason that we have this language in our code, and that Phase 2 should be required to keep with the same requirements as Phase 1. And I don't see any compelling reason why we should stray from that.
Yes, that was always, this was always one big project. The plans on Phase 1 had the storm drainage, everything that went into Phase 1 was calculated for the project. So all the pipe sizing, all the drainage, everything was sized, including the landscaping in that area was all planned for the project to be in that corner. Like you said, it's quite steep, and the drainage, everything goes down to that one corner. And so that's why we've put all the open space over there and the storm drainage and landscaping. So it was always intended for that extra landscaping to be, all this was one project, I guess is what I'm saying. And that was just Phase 1 of the entire project. If you looked at our plans that we submitted on Hidden Plat A, you can see the dashed lines of the entire project coming into it. It's always been one project.
Okay.
And I don't want to go against, if the language is what you're describing, I wouldn't want to go against that. And one other point I would make with what Julie said, we were planning on the open space being for the whole project. We sized it for that. But if you look at where this open space is in the northeast corner of both phases, it's really more in Phase 2 than it is in Phase 1. I mean, that's where it is. So that open space will benefit Phase 2 more, the homes that live in people that live in Phase 2, because that's because of the low point. That's where it is. It's in Phase 2, but we put it in as a part of Phase 1.
Okay, I understand. I think that it's important that we as a city and the council and our planning commission, you know, pays special attention to these requirements, specifically when it comes to open space, because we are amending our general plan and, you know, we're changing zoning, and there is less open space in the city throughout, which, you know, I think is inevitable with a growing city, you know, and as some of our people have spoke of today, that, you know, farmers are leaving and it's not really a farming city anymore. It's not conducive to farming so much. We don't have that much open space, but I think it's important that in lieu of the agricultural land that we're rezoning, we require open space in these communities for people to not feel like they're in a metropolitan area.
Thank you.
One point of clarification for the record, it was stated that that was the northeast. This map is actually flipped on its side, so it's actually the southeast, sorry, is where it's located, just for the record.
And I'll just add to that, it is the applicant's request. They did provide extra open space in Phase 1 and extra amenities, but they didn't, there wasn't any formal language in that approval that said they could use it as a credit for Phase 2, but they are asking for that. Just so you know, if the council decided to go with that, I appreciate your feedback, and anybody's feedback is welcome, obviously, and then the council will make that decision. But of course, a planning commission recommendation is welcome.
I think I remember this, and I think I remember that it was kind of being discussed as that it was not a credit, but that it would be a spillover for Phase 2's open space when this was approved. But to your point, we do need to have correct verbiage and language to make sure that this type of, that it is really clear. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Commissioner Mann. Commissioner Miles.
Thank you. I just had similar questions about the do not comply items in the packet, but I think clarify those, so thank you.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Miles. Coming back to that street, and I'm just going to turn your guys' mic on now, is that curve, I mean, when I'm looking at this map, this looks like the curve is fine, but when I'm looking on Google Maps, it tells a different story. I mean,
This one here,
yeah,
that is getting straightened out with phase one.
okay,
So the blue line is existing, and then the black line is how it will be built with phase one. So it's getting less curvy with the, with these lots.
okay. Is this the road that had the barriers put up for a while?
That was over here, yes.
And
So coming out, the connection between Mount Saratoga and Sage Hill Drive was blocked until a certain point of completion in Mount Saratoga.
okay. So it was just when Mount Saratoga reached that point of completion, it wasn't necessarily what the standard for this road was at that time.
Once Mount Saratoga Boulevard, the north portion of Mount Saratoga Boulevard was completed, then we opened this connection.
Okay.
Just so I'm clear, are we talking about the S curve just west of the fire station? Or are we
Right.
talking,
Yes.
or is that the curve?
I think so.
Like,
I can pull up the aerial
Okay.
too. I have it. So, this curve right here is getting straightened out.
And
then there's that other one to the south, that is on Sage Hill Drive. There's also that one, right, that we were talking about that's posted 15 mile per hour. It's got quite a steep drop off to there's that one.
That would be more west, correct?
What's that?
That would be more west. That road that you're talking about, that it goes down to the access to Quarry Ride?
I'm talking the one from Mount Saratoga headed eastbound down Sage Hills Drive and going around that left turn.
Okay.
That one is the one that has the slower speed limit and additional signing on it that Public Works put out. I think that was about a year ago.
that appears to be very effective.
Signs are they're effective if people pay attention to them, and it's hard. We get complaints and things nonstop about how to control drivers in neighborhoods, and it's really, really hard. It's kind of a mix. We can't, but we can post it and try and make it as safe as we can, and then with the additional help of enforcement, that helps too. And those are kind of our tools that the city has.
So when a traffic study is done, the traffic study is based off of what the posted speed limit and what the laws are, not necessarily off of what's actually happening on the road, right?
The traffic study will, it's trying to address the additional volumes of traffic that's coming in and how those volumes of traffic affect neighboring intersections and things and looking for and it should address safety. It doesn't, a lot of times we don't have this kind of an issue. This is unique here where we have kind of a steep slope off one side, that doesn't happen a lot of other areas. And so we would look to the traffic study to provide some ideas on what if additional, right now that's our way of dealing with it, is slowing the speeds down, and then I don't know what the design of the development will have in that area. If there's homes right off that, I don't know. But I do think the traffic study is a good tool that the developer will have to address, look into what else could be done here. The curve itself it's okay. But the drop off is why we made it 15 miles per hour, which is super slow, right?
Traffic-wise, if you look at Summit View, how it comes down south and hits Sage right there, and then there's the jog and the cul-de-sac, right? So that's not a very good intersection anyway. We're changing that. If you look at the proposed plan, the entry point off of Sage when Summit View comes down, it forms an intersection. So it at least avoids that tricky, two cars turning left and hitting each other, right? So that's one thing that our traffic engineer said we needed to do, but we will certainly ask them about that drop-off and how to keep people from not dropping off onto our people that are in our subdivision. That wouldn't be good.
So this intersection's going to be a light or a stop sign?
What intersection?
Summit View right now is a stop sign as it comes down into Sage Hill.
And then after the improvements, will it be a light or a stop sign?
I don't think the traffic study would warrant a light. There's not enough traffic on that either way.
Okay. And then, but the traffic study will address the drop.
I think that's a good thing for the developer to pursue with the traffic study, yeah. And right now it's, this is just concept right now, is that right? I'm not the engineer.
Yeah, this is just a zone change.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would come with their next application.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Wilden.
Yeah, I apologize. I want to go back and talk about the open space that was in Phase 1, and they're asking for it to be considered for Phase 2. Is there a lot of precedence? Is this a common thing? I know it wasn't in any agreement, but they're asking for it. I just want to see what's the pattern here.
I mean, it's common to do something like that, but usually it would be outlined development agreement or something. And for example, Fox Hollow we have lots of neighborhoods in Fox Hollow, and the open space is transferable in between phases and neighborhoods. So it is something that is done. It's not like it's unprecedented or anything. Like there are developments that do it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilden. Any other comment? All right, I will entertain a motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion. I move the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval for the requested Hidden Landing Phase 2 rezone and general plan amendment located south and east of Summit View Drive and Sage Hill Drive with the findings and conditions in the staff report. I also want to recommend the condition that the city look into the code enforcement for the large overgrown weeds, if that's acceptable.
Are you going to add any?
Mason
The
fence.
fence?
Oh, that's a good point, too. Let's note that the owner and the developer have also agreed to a masonry fence, if I'm speaking correctly.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
A 6-foot masonry fence?
Yeah, it does say 6 foot in that I read in there.
And that's a condition on your recommendation?
Yeah, those two conditions, I think, are
Okay.
fair.
If I ask it like that, we can do it, right? Okay, thank you for that. And do we have a second, any other questions on that? Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Mann. And all in favor, say aye.
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 And any opposed, say nay. And I am a nay. And I am,
So can I ask a question? Was that agreeing that land open space in Phase 1 would go to Phase 2? Did we?
No.
We just approved the rezone. That's it.
Okay, got it.
my nay is on that same piece from the first public hearing tonight of if we are going to, I just can't vote to rezone to higher density right now. So that's it. Thank you. And please don't steal the road base either when that happens. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. All right, and moving to public hearing item number 4, revisions to the city standard technical specifications and drawings. The proposed changes will revise intersection grading standards of local roadways and remove utility company signatures. Engineer Dan McRae.
All right, thank you. Good evening. I'll give Austin a break. So sometimes we bring a bunch of engineering updates to the standards and specs. Tonight it's just a couple. The first one is we're proposing to remove the utility signatures off the plat. It came to our attention, we had some meetings with different departments, and it came to our attention that those are not required per state law, and we think that that will help the efficiency of our plat recordation process, which can be pretty time consuming for the planners to get everything ready for these plats to get recorded. We have a lot of plats coming in. We just feel like this will be something that'll help the process move along a little quicker. We still will be providing our public utility easements as usual on the plats. All these utilities, Enbridge, Rocky Mountain Power, CenturyLink, and Comcast, they will all have the regular spaces that they've always had to install their utilities. We're just not including them as a signature block on the plat. And then the other one is, it came to our attention that in some of our steeper areas, which is kind of a lot of what's left in the city, we get up near the foothills of the mountains, it came to our attention that sometimes our standard intersection grade of 5% was making it really difficult. We were getting some huge cut and fill designs proposed. So we wanted to look into that, and what we're proposing is 1% steeper in intersections only. So 5% was the max before, this is 6%, and the only time that would be allowable is if they've already gone through all the other standards and they're still coming out with 10 feet or more of cut or fill at those intersections. So it's to help that situation, so we don't have giant cuts and fills at intersections when we're designing on and it would only, there's some conditions that you see. You could only do the 6% grade if you're in the hillside area for one, and you lower the speed limit to 20 miles per hour, and you're having 10 feet or more of cut and fill. So it's kind of a unique, but it's come up that is something that's sometimes controlling design, and they're like, it's not possible to even design these roads because of, so we're helping a little bit. 6%, it does meet an AASHTO standard still at 6%. It's not like we're going out and just coming up with this. So those are the two changes that we're proposing tonight.
I have a question on this. I know you guys hate when we ask you questions. Is there, so having that speed limit at 20 miles per hour, but having a steeper, if I'm understanding right, a steeper road there, is there another option, or is there something, a traffic calming measure that would be beneficial to add to this code to make sure that we are not setting up future just ski jumps for cars?
Yeah. So when we say 6% versus 5%, typically, and this is only on local roads, so it's not on any of our collectors or minor arterials. So if I was most of our intersections are about maybe 50 feet wide, so that would be half a foot, so 6 inches is the difference in versus the old standard. So it's not gonna, it definitely won't be a ski jump. But traffic calming wise, yeah, we do address traffic calming on local roads, and I'm trying to think of what traffic calming measures you could add to that. I guess it's not changing the standard. I mean, it's 6 inches over 50 feet. So
Okay.
can you feel that? Yeah, you probably could feel that if you're super perceptive, but it's not going to be a ski jump.
Okay. So and we're talking about in a neighborhood, like, okay.
Yeah, in a local roads on the hillside. And, we can get some pretty steep roads. 10% we can go on some of these local roads. And so right now, it will be flattening out for the intersection. 6% will feel like it's flattening out because you might be coming down at 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's the reason it won't be also a ski jump is because they still have to meet as they transition out of that intersection to the rest of the road that's not intersection. I guess we call it the tangent area. They have to meet vertical curve standards for 20 miles an hour, and that keeps it from being an abrupt. If you were really speeding way over the speed, you could make it a ski jump. But if you're, the standards will keep those vertical curves from creating a big drop or, a lot of G-forces and stuff like that.
Okay. So, okay. That was it for me. Any?
Were you hoping for some ski jumps?
Well, out of my little section of the neighborhood, there is a really, where it goes down to where the stop sign is. And during the winter, I've slid on that multiple times, and I am a very slow driver, very slow. So I just want to make sure we're not setting something else up for that. We do need to open for public comment on this, though. So let's go ahead and open for public comment. Nobody wants to, I guess, so we'll close public comment on this and open for commissioner comment. Commissioner Hill.
I'm sorry, I thought we were moving.
Oh, you thought we were voting. No, we're commenting on this. Engineering wants to hear from us.
I don't have comment at this time.
Okay. We'll go ahead and open for a vote then, or I will now entertain a motion.
I move to forward a positive recommendation to the City Council regarding the adaptation of the proposed revisions to the city standard technical specification and drawings.
Okay, do we have any question on that motion? All right, do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second from Commissioner Mancom, and we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes. Thank you. And, all right, we will move to business items. We have business item number 1, approval of minutes from October 9th, 2025. And go ahead and entertain a motion on that.
So I recommend approval of the minutes for Thursday, October 9th, 2025.
Do you have any question on the motion? And do we have a second on that motion?
I'll second.
We have a second, and all in favor say aye.
You said you recommend approval of those. Since you're the planning commission, you will be approving those. So
I recommend I
Friendly
approve
amendment.
those. Okay, no.
You would move to approve the minutes.
We move to approve those. Thank you for the
Thank you.
clarification there.
All right, so do we need to re-say the whole thing? Probably.
So the person, whoever made the motion as well as the person who seconded have to accept that amendment.
Great. So I move to approve the minutes for the Planning Commission Thursday, October 9th, 2025.
Okay, and
I'll second.
we've got a second. And any question on that? And all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? And that passes.
Did we get that right this time?
You did.
All right, we'll move to reports. Commissioner comments tonight. None? Okay. Do we have a director's report tonight?
So the last council meeting, Harvest Point Commercial Plat A Lot 2 site plan was approved. You had seen that at the previous meeting. And then Three Canyons, their intent to annex was accepted into the process, so that just begins the annexation process for that. And then we're working on an entry monument. And then you've all been invited to a joint work session on November 18th, and we were thinking we were going to have the district area plan, but that most likely is not going to happen, but we will have Three Canyons presenting at that meeting. And then you'll be seeing the whole thing at your next meeting, so that's how you get to see it ahead of your meeting. It's a really big document. It's over 50 pages in the community plan, and then there's also a master development agreement. And then with the annexation, their zoning would be assigned. So all of those things, you don't see the annexation, just the council does, but everything else you see.
Okay. And what time is that meeting at?
It starts at 6 p.m. The work session is at the end.
Okay, perfect. And any need for a closed session tonight?
No.
All right. All right, we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting. Thank you.